Hi everyone, this is Griffin, and I just watched Night Swim a couple days ago, and this is my review. I was really excited for this movie, and I'm really excited to have my first horror movie from 2024 ever watched. Like, this is my first one. I was really hyped up for this one, and I saw it in theaters, and I can just tell you my review, and you can decide whether you might want to go or not. So, yeah. The plot for this movie was pretty intriguing. So, basically, it follows a former baseball player who has been diagnosed with MS and is moving into a new house with his family after he lost his job because he can't play baseball anymore. And he's sort of looking for some physical therapy to help with his injuries. And so he moves into this new house with a pool. And while they're at the pool, the kids and the mom start experiencing these strange visions and start wondering if the pool might have some reason to do with it. I really enjoyed that plot. I was excited for this movie a lot, but I'm just gonna break it right away. I don't think this movie is very good. It's produced by James Wan and Jason Blum also. So it's done by Blumhouse and Atomic Monster. It's actually a directorial debut from Bryce McGuire, but it is a remake of Bryce McGuire's short film of the same name, Night Swim. And I think it probably worked a little bit better as a short film. I'm going to start with the positives, and I'm going to say, first of all, the story, it was there. The idea was fun, and while I thought the story overall was original, I do think the approach and the way it was executed is very tropey and sort of stealing from other movies. But I do think the original idea was pretty original. I really enjoyed the performances. I actually found every single performance to be pretty strong from all the leads and supporting roles. I didn't find any problems with that. I thought the sound design was nice, and there were a couple of jump scares that got me in the theater. That goes kind of along with sound design. Like, there are a couple of ones that got me, really. So, yeah. So, for the negatives, I'll start with the writing. I don't think it was written very well. It sort of seemed like they had this initial idea, which was the short film, obviously. They had this initial idea for the film, and they're like, okay, now let's add in some things. Let's add in this scene, and let's add in this to make it longer. And then, now we have to do an explanation to explain why. It sort of felt like a little clunky, and like, now that we had this idea, now we actually have to make a movie about it. That's sort of what it kind of felt like to me. It's so windy outside. But yeah, so I thought the writing was not strong. Along with that, I think it affected the performances of the actors. Now, I think they did well, but some of the lines in this movie, not just the writing, like plot-wise, some of the individual lines were so stupid. Like, things nobody would say. I won't say any because I don't want to spoil anything or something like that. But there's a couple of ones that, if you watch this, will stick out. Like, that is not a thing a human would say. So, yeah, not a fan of the writing for this film. Another thing that sort of wasn't good about this movie, and this is just sort of a personal thing, I just didn't think it was scary at all. It had some jump scares. While I do like jump scares every once in a while, that's all this movie really has. None of the visuals are too scary, and jump scares aren't really scary. It's more like reflex. So that's my opinion on that. Jump scares are fun. They can be scary, but these are just like, but like not much more than that. the ghosts that we see in the pool are like incredibly not scary. Like looking at them, I laughed, and I don't think it was supposed to be a horror comedy. It was laughable. Like they're so stupid looking. Nobody could take it seriously. I feel like this. I will say though, this movie did like terrify my mom. So if you're like not the biggest fan of horror or like you're really sensitive, maybe you'll find it scary. With all that to say, that wasn't like terrible. There's just a lot of flaws, but then there comes this little shift in the movie. And for anybody who has watched it, I'm talking about the part when the mom goes to see an a person who used to live in their house. And basically that scene and everything onward is completely horrifically terrible. Everything from that point and on is like, was a joke. It felt like I was like watching the worst movie ever made. The movie was not that bad. Watching it through, I was like, it's okay. Like, I'm sure the ending will really get it good. Opposite. The ending made it like 20 million times worse. It was so bad. So yeah, I was not a fan of like the ending. Like the whole falling action was terrible, and then like the very ending was also completely stupid. So yeah, not a fan. Not a fan at all. So overall for Night Swim, I gave this film 2 stars, and that might even be a bit generous, but I think 2 stars is good for this. It wasn't the worst movie ever, but I didn't enjoy it, and I don't think you should go to the theater. It will probably be out on streaming pretty soon after it leaves the theaters, which is also going to be pretty soon because this is not a huge movie. So yeah, I think I would wait till it comes on streaming. I think it's going to be streamed on Peacock, but I might be wrong. This concerns me a little bit because Bryce McGuire is going to be heavily involved in 2 future horror films coming in 2024. You might just have to wait and see which ones those are, but it's a little concerning. But I'm going to try to just forget about this one. It was a directorial debut. It was based off of a short film that probably should have stayed a short film. But yeah, overall, not great, not my favorite. Way too much baseball. Forgot to say that. Way too much baseball. Anyways, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, you should subscribe and like, because that's really nice if you want to. Okay, bye.